videos. We're going to catch me somewhere up and down your timeline and you're wondering who I am. My name is Jamila Corbett. I'm a digital marketing consultant and the founder of I Am a Brand, where we make brands. We actually provide you with the resources so that you can position yourself as an industry maverick in the digital space. So visit us at iamabrand.co. And welcome everyone to episode 2 of Spilling the Beans, baby. Oh, yes. So today we are spilling the beans on how to build a community on Twitter that leads to conversions. I am so excited for this guest. This is Madeline Sklar, a serial entrepreneur, a community builder, and the leading Twitter marketing expert. She's ranked the number one social media power influencer in Houston. Each week, she hosts the hashtag Twitter Smarter Twitter chat that brings together hundreds of people in an active 1-hour discussion revolving around Twitter marketing. Since launching 2 years ago, it has reached 4.64 billion impressions, you guys. That's huge. Huffington Post has named Madeline one of 50 entrepreneurs to follow in 2017. You guys, do me a favor. Put your emoji hands together and help me welcome Madeline Sklar. Hey, Madeline, how are you?
Hey, I'm so good. Thank you so much for inviting me. I love what you're doing here. It's a great community you built.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you guys, for all of those who are coming in, do me a favor. Share this out. Bottom left-hand corner, you see that share button. Go ahead, share this thing out because we're here. It's always a hashtag situation when you come up in this joint. And so we appreciate you guys sharing this with your network. And if you shared or invited, do me a favor, type shared or invited. And also feel free to give some reactions. Shout out to the replay viewers and shout out to the viewers on YouTube who are going to come back and consume the content. So I want to take a quick poll in the room. Thank you so much for inviting Janine. I see you, Lavelle. Lavelle has shared. You're the hashtag community MVP, man. So I want to take a quick poll in the room, whether you're live or on the replay. By show of hands, how many of you are actively using Twitter? Ooh. And so before we dig deep into Twitter marketing, because we're going to really dig deep and get some meat and potatoes up in here, before we really dig deep, Madeline, I want to discuss a little bit about your background. Like I mentioned before, you're one of the leading authorities on Twitter, but was there an exact aha moment when you realized that Twitter marketing was a thing?
Yeah, definitely. I first got on it in 2008 when it was a little bit new. And at first, no, I just was like, just another social network I'll join and play around with. But initially, I didn't see it as a big player, and I just didn't see it as something I was going to spend a lot of time on. I just would go in there whenever I could make time. And I would say about a year later is when I really saw this could be a powerful tool, and I decided to go all in. So that was in 2009. And all in meaning every day I get on there and I tweet and I'm consistent, and I saw a big change. And I love it. It's a great way to connect with people.
You know, I'm going to be honest, Madeline. It's really hard for me to get consistent on this platform. And there are people in here who they don't give a flying fart about Twitter. But, you've been effectively able to build, this large community on there. And let's just put the cards on the table for people like me. How does Twitter benefit your business?
Well, Twitter is a great place to go to connect with like-minded people. So like for me, I'm in the business of social media. I help people with social media. So I can go in there and find lots of people who are a lot like me. Or I can also find people that want to learn things that I have to share. And it's a great place to go get in front of them. A lot of people say, oh, Twitter is noisy. Nobody listens to me. Or they'll say it's a ghost town. I've heard it all. And when I hear these, I say, you're not doing it right. Because if you're doing it right, I know. But if you're doing it right, if you learn how to use it properly, you'll be in love with it, and it'll be your favorite tool, because this is a place where you could get in front of industry leaders, thought leaders, people of influence, people that interest you. If you want to go chat with rock stars, like if they're using Twitter, you have the opportunity to get in front of them. It's, on Facebook, you just can't get in front of people the same way, right? Facebook pages are great. So that does allow you to connect with brands and connect with people of influence, but many times it's their assistants or their VAs. You're not usually talking to the person, whereas Twitter, because Twitter is so easy to use, it's so easy to take on the go, it's so much like texting that people pretty much do it themselves, even the big stars, right? So if you want to connect with them, I always say they're within reach.
You know what? I have to agree with you. And this is kind of how we connected. I connected with you on Twitter, and I've been admiring, you know, a lot of your journey, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that I see that you post. And so I will say Twitter is the platform to connect with other influencers. And this is kind of how I'm bringing the guests on the show is I'm literally DMing people on Twitter and reaching out to them, and it's getting their attention. So okay. So you're kind of convincing me that I probably need to invest more in Twitter, because when I do make an effort to show up on the platform, you know, it is yielding a result and a return, and people are engaging with me on there. And I think at the end of the day, that's what you want, and that's how you build a community, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's just spending time on there and connecting with people. I'm a big fan of Twitter chats, and what a great way to jump onto Twitter and spend an hour, you know, kind of like this, but just connecting with people through Twitter with a chat. People are asking questions. You can chime in and give your 2 cents. People can see you as an industry leader because you know the content, you know the information that's being discussed. That's just one of many ways to utilize Twitter to your benefit.
Yep. And so really quickly, a quick reset for all the people who are coming in. Welcome, everyone. Boom, baby, and boom. For all of those who don't know, boom stands for breaking out of old mindsets. And this is one of the things we help you do in the I Am a Brand community. Visit the link you see it pinned at the top at iamabrand.co/community. Do me a favor, all my community members of the premium network, raise your hand, baby. Raise your hand, because you guys are leveling up. You guys are interested in increasing your influence and presence on social media and getting that bank, baby. And that's one of the things we're going to help you do. We have conversations like this all the time in there. But today we're talking with Madeline Sklar, one of the social media power influencers. And I'm so happy that we're able to introduce her to the network. In case you guys want to level up on your Twitter, Madeline has an array of services and products that's going to actually help you. So make sure you check out her website at madelinesklar.com. For all of those who are part of the email list, you're going to get this information sent straight to your inbox. But Madeline, you guys, and if you're enjoying the content, do me a favor, share this out. Bottom left-hand corner, you see the share button. And when you shared or invited, type shared or invited. Hey, Genevieve, I want to give some shout outs. What's up, Sasha? I see you. What's up, Deke? Oh, Deacon Arlene says, we did some Twitter chats with the church. Pretty cool. Exactly. I love it. And shout out to all the people who are joining in. All right. So, Madeline, now let's speak to the newbies. Let's go back to the basics, because we have some people who were completely new to the Twitter platform. They created their account and they're just an egg. They just haven't used it. Like, I don't know how to use this thing. How do you use it? You know, let's start from there. As a newbie or as someone who hasn't nurtured a Twitter audience yet, what are the first important steps to do?
Well, what's really important is to start with your profile. Like, it needs to be great. And what I mean by that is, you know, getting a great profile picture on there, something where people can recognize you. And then they give you this big header image at the top is huge, 1,500 pixels across by 500 pixels tall. So I look at that as real estate. Like, that is your advertising real estate space on your Twitter. So come up with things on there that portray who you are and what you do. Go look at other people to see how they're using it to get ideas. And then you got to have a great bio. Your bio says it all. This can be the difference between somebody following you or not following you. So you get 160 characters. So you want to make sure you are compelling, that you really spell out what you do, how you help people to get them interested in you. Because when they're surfing around on Twitter and they see you tweeting, they're going to say, well, who is this Madeline Sklar and why should I follow her? And they're going to look at my little 160 character bio and decide right then and there if I'm worthy of being pursued on Twitter. So you definitely want to make sure you spend time on this. And I also say to audit your profile every 3 to 6 months. So you want to go back regularly. Like, I'm always updating my bio depending on what I have going on. I have a new Twitter course coming out, so I have a link to it in my bio, because you can put a link to things in there. You can tag another Twitter profile. So let's say you're the CEO of a company and you have a Twitter profile for that company. You could put that in your bio, CEO of, and put at in the Twitter handle. So you want to spend time really crafting a good bio. So those are really the basics at the very beginning, is putting all this together, making it great. It doesn't hurt to go ask some of your friends to take a look at it and give you their opinions. But that's the very first thing to do.
Thank you. And the Genevieve says, definitely need to up my Twitter game, as do plenty of people in the chat. And this is one of the reasons why I had to have Madeline on, is because even in our premium hub, you guys, we had a Twitter challenge, and, we had a lot of people participate in that thread. And so what we realized is it's easy when you get the hang of it, but it's really hard to get started. And that's why we had to have Madeline on, because we want you to get started. If you're not using Twitter, you're definitely leaving money on the table. I know I'm leaving a lot of money on the table because I'm not actively using Twitter, but I have seen the results of me being intentional on Twitter and me connecting with other influencers and even people who can use my products and services. I see that when I share my stuff on Twitter and I share a link, I have more traffic from Twitter, and I'm like, oh man, I should really use this more, but I don't. So I want to speak now. I want to shift gears, and I want to speak to the intermediate users. For someone like me, like I have a profile, I'm on Twitter, I use it, sporadically, but what are your best community building strategies for the platform for someone like me, an intermediate user?
Well, you got to be consistent. So you really need to carve out time every day, even if it's just for 10 minutes a day, but just being consistent. It makes such a difference. And you want to tweet every day. When you're out there, not only are you reading tweets and finding people to connect with, but you want to tweet out things depending on what it is you do. Now, you don't want to make this a one-way street. So you don't want to just do a whole bunch of tweeting and not anything else.
I see a lot of that.
There's a lot of and they're not doing it right, because it's, social media should never be a one-way street. It's always a two-way street. Is you talking to people, is you posting your information. It's okay to promote yourself. I'm going to give you permission right now. It's okay. Go do a tweet today promoting something you do. You're allowed to do that. Now, do you want to do that a lot? No. You want to be there to connect with people, and they see you constantly tweeting about yourself. They're going to say, they're like a sales machine, and all they want to do is sell to me, and I don't want to be around that. So you want to be conversational. You want to do some listening, see what other people are talking about, and find conversations that you can jump into and be a part of. One thing that's important is to go through your notifications every day. People are connecting with you. The more you use Twitter, the more people are going to start replying to you and connecting with you. So when you log into your Twitter, you want to go to your notifications and be sure to reply to people that are connecting. If they put @ in your Twitter handle, they're sending you a message, a tweet as a message. That's not a direct message. It's just a public tweet, but it's directed at you. So do go through those and be sure to reply back. Another thing is to be organized, and you can do this with Twitter lists. Are you using Twitter lists?
I am, but not to the effect as I should. So when I use Twitter lists, I do group people like influencers or live streamers. Like I do have different categories for people.
Yeah, and that's really good. You definitely want to spend time grouping people together, because what happens is, as we build up our Twitter following, anyone that you're following, they're going to show up in your feed. So like when you first log in and you see all those tweets, that's your feed. Very similar to Facebook, is all the people you follow. Well, over time, it's going to get to be too much. And you're going to look at this and go, I don't have time to look at all these tweets. So that's what makes Twitter lists great, because you're basically creating your own private feeds. And so popular ones would be to have one of competitors and one of industry leaders, like you talked about. I'll put them together for, let's say, if there's a conference I'm going to be going to, and I'll put together a list of the speakers so I can just stay in touch with the speakers that are going to be coming up. I will also create one for the same conference, but for people I want to connect with. So like Social Media Marketing World is a big one that's going to be coming up next February.
You're speaking at that.
I'm going to be speaking there. It'll be my 3rd year to speak about Twitter. I'm so excited. It's in San Diego, if anybody's interested. I am already now, even though, it's October, I'm already planning ahead, and I've already built a Twitter list, adding people to it that I want to connect with, because, we start, jotting down, oh, don't forget to go meet so-and-so at this conference. Well, then you months later, you forget where you put that little piece of paper or on your computer, where did I put that note? So I can just create a Twitter list and I can keep building it. It's a living, breathing thing. It's not a one-time thing. So as I'm connecting with people that I'm finding out are going to be at the conference, I'm putting them, and this is a private list. This is just for my eyes only. Lists can be public or private. Public is if you want to curate something that other people can see, and there's great ways to do that. But many times I'm just doing it private for my eyes only. So I'm creating a list right now of people that I want to connect with when I'm at that conference. That way I don't forget who all is going to be attending. So Twitter list, and then there's Twitter chats. Oh my gosh. Yes. I mean, I can talk for hours about Twitter chats, but this is a great way to connect with people. Chats are typically for an hour long, once a week typically. And I'll use one of mine as an example. I do one where we share Twitter tips. It's called Twitter Smarter. We meet every Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern, and you just come on for the hour. A lot of people are lurkers, and I mean lurkers in the nice sense, where they're just watching, and they're just taking it all in, and they're learning lots, and that's wonderful. Mm-hmm. However, I always say, if you're going to be watching a Twitter chat, at least say hi and introduce yourself at the beginning. So that way people know you're there. If you don't do that, none of us know you're there.
Kind of like in this live stream, you guys. Hello.
Yeah, we know lots of you are here right now. So comment, say something, let us know what you think of this. But yeah, Twitter chat's an amazing way. I have met so many amazing people that I've connected with and have done business with because we connected on a Twitter chat. So it's a great.
You bring me to my next point, but before we get there, boom! Welcome everyone. This is Spilling the Beans with Madeline Sklar. I am going to, hey, La Vista, I see you. Sasha and Genevieve are having a great conversation in the chat. She said Twitter lists. I think they thought you said Twitter less. It's Twitter lists.
Oh, lists.
Yes, and so it's a great way to curate other content creators and group them together. And so this is actually one of the activities that's in our premium network, imabrand.co/community. We did this same activity of generating a list so that we can connect with certain people and be intentional about our Twitter presence. So that's part of your membership. And if you're enjoying the content, you guys, I'm not selling you on this live stream. I'm not doing anything. All I want to do is provide you with value. And so if you're getting any type of value out of this, all I ask you to do is share this out. Bottom left-hand corner, you see the share button. Share it out and invite some people into this broadcast because you are paying it forward. You're paying it forward in knowledge. So thank you so much for being here. Really do appreciate that. Okay. Hey, Angie, I see you said hi in the beginning. All right, got you. So that moves me to my next point, Madeline. And I know some folks in here who are interested in hopping in Twitter chat. So what's the process of that? Is there a sign up? Do you just hop in? You figure out the schedule? How do we get involved in their Twitter chat? Is there a format?
Great question. Okay. So Twitter is public, so there's no signing in. You just need to know the day and time. So Twitter Smarter is every Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern. So basically for 1 hour, you come over to Twitter, and you can do this at twitter.com. You can go use a third-party tool if you like to use Hootsuite. I actually use a website called tweetchat.com, and I use that because it makes it super easy.
Type that, you guys.
Yes, tweetchat.com.
All right.
It simplifies it. And here I'm like, an expert user on Twitter, and I use it when I'm on chats because what makes it great is that when you're in the middle of a chat, tweets, if it's a fast moving one, and my Twitter Smarter is pretty fast paced, tweets are just coming at you 100 miles an hour, and it can be hard to keep up. And if you're doing this at twitter.com or on your phone, it can get a little challenging to keep up with. So Tweet Chat, what it does is that it will, at the very top of the page, it will have the most recent tweet, and then you can scroll down and see all the tweets, but it'll always be the most recent at the top. And they're just there so you can easily see them. You can easily click to retweet, to hit the heart button, to reply and say something. But most of all, what I love about it is at the very, very top above the tweets is a box where you can type in your tweet if you want to reply to anything, and it's going to do the hashtag for you, because here is the biggest mistake for new users is remembering the hashtag. So when you're on a Twitter chat, it revolves around a hashtag. Everything is about the hashtag. So for mine with Twitter Smarter, it's just the pound sign or the hash sign, Twitter Smarter, one word, no space. You type that in on Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern, you're going to see this massive conversation going on. And if you don't put the hashtag in, we don't see it. So that's why it's important to put the hashtag in, or use tweetchat.com. It'll do it for you. So I love that. I love that. It just simplifies things. You don't have to worry about remember, because here's what happens. You'll love this little story. So there'll be somebody new on the chat, and they come on at the beginning. Hi, everybody. This is my first time on Twitter Smarter. They remembered, right? And then we're going through the chat, and you don't see them, right? I'm thinking, oh, they're just listening. They're just watching. They come on at the end. OMG, I forgot to put the hashtag in. Why didn't anybody reply to me? I think I just figured it out. I forgot to do the hashtag. That happens so often. So that's why I stress tweetchat.com. It'll do that part for you so you can relax and enjoy the conversation. But participate. Participation, even if you don't feel like you could contribute to what the conversation is, ask a question. Just if there's something that sounds interesting, put a comment to it. Just participate. You'll make new friends immediately, and it's so much fun.
I'm gonna be there on Thursday, and I'm gonna try.
Come on.
That's a challenge. That's a challenge, you guys.
And I have a great guest too. I have Emmerich Ernolt from Agora Pulse, which is a great third-party tool for social media, especially Twitter. And so, yes, I would love to see you there. I would love to see this whole community there. Even though we have a guest and we ask questions, everybody's invited to participate.
Yeah, hold me accountable, you guys. And so that kind of leads me to my next question. And what are because I find, and I know a lot of people in here, by show of hands, you guys, how many of you guys find Twitter noisy? I do. And like you said before, you mentioned before that when you use, twitter.com or the app on my phone, it's like because I follow thousands of people, it's like everybody is on my news feed. Is there a way, is there any tools that you use to separate the people who are your favorite and the people who you want to see versus everyone else?
That would just be the Twitter list. I mean, Twitter is the way to separate because, I follow a lot of people back. So and this is so exciting, I'll announce it here first. I just hit 65,000 followers last night.
Y'all, give her some emoji hand claps, you guys.
This is organic. Like, this is not buying followers. This is not spending a bunch of money advertising. This is just organically building up over time, and proud to have gotten 65,000. But I do follow. Not everybody, but I follow a lot of people back. So you go log into my Twitter, that news feed is just full. It's crazy. It's fun, but to go through it sometimes, but it's too much. And I want to look at very specific groups of people. So Twitter list is definitely the way to go.
Okay. And do you use tools like Hootsuite or Buffer or any of those third-party platforms?
I do. I love tools. That's one of my favorite things to talk about. When it comes to Twitter lists, what I do is I'll build the list over at twitter.com, put them all together, and then I'll use Hootsuite to view them, because with Hootsuite you get columns, right? Yep. So I see 4 or 5 columns of things, and I can just have different Twitter lists in there, and then I can just real quickly see what are people talking about. So if I go to twitter.com, I have to look at them one at a time, which is not bad, but if I'm in a hurry, I could do it. I could look at everything faster on Hootsuite. Does that make sense? Because I can see the columns. Yes. So it's like a bunch of columns. So like, here's a column with one chat, here's one with another. So I can just, take a quick look and see what's going on in the big picture.
Got you. And I love that. I think my problem is, and I think a lot of people's problems in here, is we just have to get more organized and intentional with our Twitter presence. Because like I said, when I do invest some time on the platform, like I get retweets, I get likes, I get engagement. So I know I have some type of audience over there. Like, for instance, Deacon Arlene that's in the chat, she's always on Twitter. Norvell is always responding to my stuff on Twitter. Some of you guys in the community, you guys love Twitter, but I just I'm going to get better, y'all. I'm going to get better. So for all of those who are coming in, I appreciate you guys. This is episode 2 of Spilling the Beans with Madeline Sklar. She is spilling all the beans on Twitter, you guys. Make sure you check her out at MadelineSklar.com. She has a great courses coming out if you want to level up on your Twitter game. And I am the founder of this community that you're in right now. I am a brand where we make brands boom. We provide you with the resources and tools so that you can position yourself as an industry maverick in the digital space. So visit our community. All of the stuff that we talk about, all the resources and tools are accessible in our community. IamAbrand.co/community. And all I ask you to do is to just share the content out. I'm not selling you anything on this broadcast. I'm not going around with the tip jar saying, oh, it's for the poor. Ain't none of that over here. Just pay me in shares, bottom left-hand corner. And when you shared or invited, type shared or invited. Yes, thank you for putting your website in the chat. You guys see that right there, MadelineSklar.com. Shout out to Clement. Shout out to John. I see you up in here. La Vista. I see you guys participating in the conversation in here. So going back to our conversation, Madeline, I want to debunk some of these Twitter myths that are out there. And one of the biggest Twitter myths that's out there is Twitter is for young people.
No. You know, it's funny because I'll hear people say things like that. Well, first of all, the young people are always off like 2 steps ahead to like, they don't want to be where all the parents and grandparents are. Yeah. So it's not a place for the, like, I view it as like an all ages thing. There, you know, like senior, well, I don't know about seniors, but like older people like in their 50s and 60s are coming on to social media like crazy, and they're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, they're everywhere. So I find, for me personally, Twitter to be very diverse with people and age groups.
And Arlene says planning, organization, and automation. So do you, in order to have an effective Twitter presence, it has to be a combination of those things, right? So you have to automate some things, but you also have to engage, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Engaging is so important, and you don't want to automate your engagement. You want to automate just information. So for instance, what I do every morning, I read tons of articles, lots of information. I like to have my RSS feeds go over to Feedly. Are you familiar with Feedly?
Yes. Yep.
I love Feedly. So Feedly.com, for those who are not familiar, it's a great place to put in all your RSS feeds, or another terminology would just be the blogs that you like to read, right? And so I go there to read lots of information. I mean, even though I know a lot, I'm always learning. There's, you know, I don't know everything, so I'm always learning. When I read these articles and I find ones that I want to share with my community on Twitter, I'm not going to go share 5 articles at once. I'm just going to clog up the feed. It's just the same thing on Facebook. You're not going to go post 5 things in a row. You want to spread it out. So with Twitter, I use Buffer to go take those articles and schedule it in there, because I can put together, you know, the different hours of the day that I want things to go out. So I have things go out about once every hour, hour and a half throughout the day. So I'm always sharing lots of articles that way. So that's how I do just my daily scheduling of posts. Now, I also do what we call evergreen posts. And so these are your pieces of content that's good today, tomorrow, next week, next month, maybe even 6 months from now. So I use a tool called Social Jukebox. Are you familiar? Okay, so there's one called Edgar, and Edgar's been around a long time. People
that one too. Yep.
Edgar. So Edgar and Social Jukebox are very, very similar. I like Social Jukebox. I started hearing about it a few years ago, and it started getting really popular, so I tried it out, fell in love with it. So I put in things like promoting the kind of promotions for the work I do. Like, I don't want to have to keep tweeting those over and over. It's the same thing, right? So why not take that type of tweet, put it in there so it can just run on autopilot? But you want to be very careful. What's that?
That's a good idea.
Well, because here's the thing, like I was saying before earlier, like we want to promote ourselves, and and I'm giving everybody permission. It's okay to promote yourself, just don't over promote. But using a tool like Social Jukebox allows you to put them in there and then just let them run on autopilot, but just make sure they don't run forever. Like, you know, you want to definitely keep an eye on this. And I would periodically go through, refresh them a little bit, maybe reword them a little bit. So it's not just this constant. And I would also spread them out so that, because you can just keep building up a library of them. So I have one that I call My Promotion. And I just keep at, like, anything that promotes me, and this includes testimonials, that's promoting me. So, when people, I get testimonials like almost every day, whether it's from my podcast, my Twitter chat, my blog, my courses I teach. So I will take snippets of that and I will put that into my social jukebox, because who better to promote you than people that are giving you testimonials, right? Because they're doing it for you. So anything that's promoting, and also my blog posts I'll put in there. I have my podcast, so I have show notes for the podcast, so I will put that in there. So these can just run regularly, but I definitely recommend, don't completely, like, you can set it and forget it, but don't completely forget it.
Yeah. And so you guys, I see you guys are chatting it up in here. Arlene says, yeah, I'm here. She's on Twitter heavy, and she's, in the 55 and over club. So it just goes to show you that Twitter is for everyone. And so you've been a marketer for umpteen years, and you even started blogging
Long time.
before it was a thing to do, right? And needless to say, you have a lot of experience building communities, and you're such a wellspring of knowledge. And the market, and I know you can attest to this, is moving towards community building. So what would be some tips for new entrepreneurs building a business and trying to build a community around that business on Twitter?
Well, it's finding ways to seek them out and to draw them in. Starting a Twitter chat can be a great way to get people over to you and start building a community there on Twitter. I have found that to work really well for me, and I've been working with so many different customers, helping them take their brand and really build it up on Twitter. Because Twitter, it is a noisy place. There's so much conversation. There's so many tweets flying by. How can you take the time to reach the people you want to reach and use that to build up an audience and build that community, so that way, you can get them to go to your website or go get them to listen to your podcast or whatever it is that you do for business. I also recommend going to other Twitter chats. You can build up a community of people just by participating in other people's chats. Starting your own Twitter chat is not for everybody, and I understand that, because there's a time commitment to this. It takes time every week, but it can be very rewarding as well. But I definitely would recommend everybody go check out, just go and Google Twitter chats, Google like what your industry is, because there's really not like one directory that has all of them in there. So what you want to do is just go Google and just, keep an eye out. People are always tweeting on chats. I find them just from surfing around, because you'll see a bunch of tweets with hashtags. You're like, what's going on with this hashtag? And then you realize there's a Twitter chat going on, and there's always new Twitter chats popping up all the time. But I find that to be a great way to seek out your community and build your community. And then it just takes time, just being active over time.
Yep. So you guys had it. Madeline Sklar spilling the beans. Did that answer your question, John? Because John is a new business on Twitter, and he wants to market his business on Twitter and build a better following. So I think that answered your question, John. And for all of those who are just now coming in, I want to personally welcome you to Spilling the Beans. You're going to have to check out the replay, check out the beginning of the broadcast, because Madeline Sklar really did spill the beans, you guys. And so as we wrap up, Madeline, is there anything else you want to tell people about Twitter, or how they can reach you, or how they can build a better following?
Well, I think the best way to build up your following is to engage. I always just say, engage. You really just have to put yourself out there. People so many times are on there and they're just not talking to people. They're just watching, but they're not participating. So you really need to participate and be part of the conversation. Put together Twitter lists. And I like to, give out homework, have you do stuff. So I would love everybody to go start off by building one Twitter list. And I want you to go put people in there that you want to connect with. Just build a list of people that you put in 5 people today that you would like to be in front of and connect with. And then what I want you to do is, after you put that list together, then just go look at it, and it's going to show you their tweets, the most recent at the top. And just look at their tweets and find one that you can jump into and hit the reply. Don't be scared. Just hit that reply button and go for it. and just reply to whatever it is they said. If they're asking a question, reply. I remember years ago, there was this rock star lady that was asking a question about a Sean Penn movie. And I was like, I saw that movie and I was a little nervous, but I hit the reply button and we had a conversation back and forth. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, who would ever think I'd have a conversation with a rock star on Twitter? But it can happen. Like, the people that you want to seek out, they're using Twitter, and Twitter is a place that's very transparent. So it's easy to connect and have real conversations with people on there. So I think that's my best recommendation, is just get out there and engage, start a Twitter list, and start connecting with people.
There you have it, you guys. And Madeline, I just want to point out that you started a conversation with the rock star and then you became the rock star, baby. So for all of those who are coming in, I hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. This is episode 2 of Spilling the Beans. And Madeline Sklar, indeed, she spilled them beans, y'all. And you guys, as always, access these resources, some of the resources that she was talking about today in I Am a Brand. IamAbrand.co/community is pinned to the top. We actually have a Twitter challenge going on and doing some of the things that Madeline has said to do. It's all in our Twitter social coins in our Twitter challenge. So make sure you guys are checking that out, get your memberships, and let's boom our biz, brand, and bank. So Madeline, thank you so much for participating today. Really do appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate you reaching out to me on Twitter to do this. This is so much fun. You have such great energy. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. And again, make sure you guys are liking the page, follow the live notifications. There's so many other contributors, our community contributors, who are really going to help you skyrocket your digital presence. So follow the page. Follow me personally. Follow Madeline to get that extra serving of meat and potatoes, because she's going to help you get your life right. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Until next time on Spilling the Beans, I have such a great guest next time, but I'm not going to spill the beans just yet. All right. I love y'all. I love you. Boom.